Hi guys, welcome to Click Sports. My name is Shalom Habu. Without any further ado guys, let us jump into our reviews and talking points from the weekend's game.
I need that magic.
Are watching Click Sports. Click to explore the games.
So, a start to the weekend, Wolves beating Manchester City by 2-1. So, Wolves kicked off the weekend with an upset over the reigning champions, Manchester City. This was a shock to say the least, but that is what the EPL is about. Lots of shocks and surprises. In the game where City basically dominated and had most of the chances, it was Wolves that showed the touch of champions by making the most of the little chances they came upon. Ruben Dias was unfortunate to concede an own goal early on, but Alvarez equalized with a beautiful free kick before Hwang Chan sealed the victory for Wolves in the 66th minute. City, as a result, lost their unbeaten record for the season, which leaves Arsenal and Spurs as the only two unbeaten sides left in the league so far. City still sit top of the EPL. As things stands right now, they still sit top with 1 point over close rival Arsenal, and they make a visit. They will be going away to Arsenal next weekend. Let's hope that City can get back to winning ways for the sake of their fans, and also to just help them, maintain the good run and the good form that they started the season with. In the other game, we saw Spurs defeat Liverpool by 2-1 in a game of so much controversy. In what was the most eventful game of the season so far, in my opinion, this match was filled with much drama and moments that raised various talking points. The major talking point is the issue of VAR and refereeing mistakes. In this game, we saw poor refereeing decisions decide the game, and this will need to be addressed as it's not good for the EPL. It's not good for the EPL that referees are always making mistakes that determine the results of games, costing teams valuable points. Liverpool will feel bad with the two decisions that went against them, particularly the first decision against Luis Diaz where he was given offside and he wasn't offside, and VAR was used to review the offside, and they did not even use the line they did not even use the offside line to actually check whether it was actually offside. They just put a still picture there for the referee, and that was what he made the decision based on. That was very poor from VAR. They came out to apologize, but what's the point of always coming out to apologize when you do things like this? Last season, the same thing was done against Arsenal. We lost to Brentford. There was a penalty. They didn't review it on VAR, and Arsenal lost valuable 3 points, which went on to affect them, cost them the title last season. Not directly anyway, but things like this can affect a team's season, and we saw that. We also saw another costly decision also reduce Liverpool to 10 men when Curtis Jones was sent off for what was a dangerous tackle on Ivis Bissouma, but it wasn't really his fault. If you actually take your time to watch the video, because the issue here is how the review was done. This time again, the referee went to VAR, went and stood there and saw a still picture, and what was on the still picture was Curtis Jones' foot connecting with Ivis Bissouma's ankle. But if you actually watch the replay, you will see that Curtis Jones actually tried to get the ball, and it was the momentum of the ball that shifted his foot, his studs, to Ivis Bissouma's ankle, and the referee wasn't showing this, and the boy was sent off fairly. I think that decision needs to be reviewed, and the red card needs to be rescinded, and he needs to be allowed to play in the next game. But yeah, you saw this. We also saw another red card also that was also controversial during the game. So this was a very controversial game. Both sides. Spurs were able to get a win and against 9 men, and it was disappointing to see that against 9 men they struggled to win, and they nearly even lost the game, and they had to salvage a last-minute goal, an own goal for that matter, to grab the point. So I think Liverpool will feel harshly done by in this game, and Spurs will be lucky that they came out to this point. They came out to this game with a win, and they are still they are still among the top of the table, and yeah, they're unbeaten so far this season. So good for them. Let's see how things go for them in the subsequent games. In the next game, we saw Arsenal defeat Bournemouth by 4-0. Arsenal are back after a disappointing draw to Spurs last weekend. This is the best Arsenal performance of the season so far in the EPL, in my opinion. It has something other Arsenal games have been missing, which is goals. We saw 4 different players grab a goal including starboy Bukayo Saka and struggling man Kai Havertz, whose goal will come as a relief as he has not had the easiest start to life as an Arsenal player so far. He will be happy as he cost them over £60 million. Now, hopefully he can kick on from here and go to have a great season, because Arsenal really do need Kai Havertz to kick on. That number 8 position that he's playing for the team is a very vital position, and that's pretty much been, in my opinion, and most people who have reviewed Arsenal's play this season, the number 8 position has pretty much been the position that struggled the most this season. Vieira hasn't necessarily been consistent there. We saw Trossard during preseason, we've not seen him play there, and Havertz hasn't really been the all-action guy that Xhaka was for us last season. So we really need Havertz to kick on. We hope that this will give him some needed boost and some needed confidence, you understand, to really kick on and, you understand, take this season by the scruff of the neck. Yeah, Captain Odegaard and Ben White too were also among the scorers. Ben White especially had a very solid game. I have to say about Ben White, this is the second game in a row that he's been really solid. He was really troubled in defense. He was there to support Saka and the attack when he was needed to. Odegaard, on the other hand, showed why he's a good leader and pretty much probably the best captain we've had at this club since, let me say, since Les Fabregas. I don't think we've had such a good leader. We had Van Persie, but Van Persie wasn't captain for long. So yeah, Odegaard is doing well, and it was a good gesture for him to give Kai Havertz the second penalty. He scored the first penalty after Saka's first goal. He scored the second goal by penalty. We got the third penalty. We got the third goal by virtue of the penalty. Odegaard was to take the penalty. He gave it to Kai Havertz. That is a sign of leadership. He knows that this guy needs confidence and this guy needs support, and that was good for him and the team to, you understand, to help Kai Havertz in that way. So that was good for Arsenal, good for Odegaard. Also, we talk about Declan Rice. Declan Rice has been solid throughout this season. He has basically not, he has hardly put a foot wrong. I think it's pretty much this season he has pretty much been our best player. I think out of 7 games or 8 games now, he has been man of the match on 2 occasions. So Declan Rice was solid again today. Protected defense, brought stability to midfield, which also gave the attack foundation to build the attacking play on. So yeah, good for Arsenal, good all-round performance from the team, good for Mikel Arteta. On to the next game against Man City next weekend. Let us hope that Arsenal can do something in that game. Now, in the next game, we saw Manchester United lose the second game at home in a row to Crystal Palace in what was a drab performance. This is the second consecutive loss at home for United this season, which leaves us asking, where do Manchester United go from here? Ten Hag really needs to work on his squad and build their confidence back up, or else they could be left behind before the season even reaches the midpoint. Right now, as it stands, United are pretty much 10 points off top 4 as things stand right now, and that is not good for United. They need to really pick up their form. Marcus Rashford, especially, Rashford's poor form is pretty much the biggest problem for Manchester United right now. The guy really runs on the pitch. When he goes, he just over dribbles, doesn't release the ball on time for the striker. Like, Rashford has become a problem this season. I don't know what it is with some of these players. Whenever they sign big contracts, he recently signed a £200,000 a week contract, and ever since then he has not been the Rashford he was last season. He needs to get back to playing the way he needs to. Bruno Fernandes also needs help, needs to also improve. The whole team as a whole needs to improve. Manchester United. Yeah, so that's it, United. Let's hope that next week, the next game will provide something better for fans. In the next game, we saw Chelsea finally grab 2 goals. Chelsea that have been struggling to score goals throughout the whole season were able to grab 2 goals in the space of 2 minutes against Fulham. It was good. The West London derby was good for Chelsea as they're able to now get their season back on track and kick on. Let us hope that this is a moral boost. This can be a moral boost for them and really help them kick on this season. And really, Chelsea haven't really played badly this season. They've not been too poor. It's just that they've not been able to finish their chances when they need to. And we saw score 2 goals. Good for them. Mudryk was on the score sheet. He was very energetic. He was very, you know what I'm saying? He played very well. He was very energetic, played very well. Broha was good for Broha to come back after being out for almost a year. Came back and got on the score sheet. That is good for him. That will be good for his confidence as well. And also, we saw also good performance all over the pitch. Cole Palmer was also good as well. Conor Gallagher didn't do too badly. I didn't hear too many Chelsea fans criticizing him as they usually do. Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez were solid. And yeah, what can you say? Thiago Silva was solid in defense. Kukurea, who had to fill in at right back, which is not his position too, was also solid. So the whole team as a whole did well. This is good for Chelsea. Let us hope that this is a sign that things will get better. Right. In other talking points, we saw Victor Osihmen silence his haters with a goal for Napoli over the weekend. We all know the recent controversy between Victor Osihmen and his club Napoli. The club posted, for those people who don't know, let me remind you, the club posted a comedic video mocking Victor Osihmen for missing a penalty in the previous game, and obviously Osihmen didn't react too well to this. He basically deleted all the club's pictures on his Instagram, and basically he and his agent have been threatening legal action against the club except they rectify what they've done. And we've seen many people come out to say different things. In particular, one reporter named Marika Fusco came out in particular to make certain comments that wasn't really taken well by Osimen's fans, and in particular Nigerians in particular. They really went after the woman on social media. What did she say? She basically criticized Osihmen for his reaction to the mockery. I mean, I've never seen a club mock a player in the way Victor Osihmen was mocked. So for him to be criticized for his reaction, I think is unfair. She basically said that it's the fault of Napoli fans for putting him on the pedestal and making players feel like gods. What kind of comment is that? To me, okay, fine, no, not trying to idolize someone, but Osihmen should be like a god in Napoli right now. Before Osihmen came, you guys had not won the league for over 20 years. The last time you won the league was when Maradona was at the club. And this guy came in the space of 2 seasons. This first season, you could have even won the league, but he was injured. The second season came, and he was fit throughout, and you saw what happened. You won the league, and you treat him like this, and yeah. But the major rumor here is that the club are actually trying to sell him, and they're just doing this just to get him out of the club. To me, I think that the process is bad. If you want to sell a player, you're free to sell the player. The understanding is that the issue is that normally the African Cup of Nations usually comes in January, and when the African Cup of Nations comes in January, the African players have to go and play for their countries, and this affects the clubs. This is common knowledge. This has always been an issue right from time. Even back then when I was a kid watching Arsenal, I didn't like seeing African players leave during the season. Important players like Alex Song, Emmanuel Adebayo leave to go and play, so it affects the season. I can understand how this upsets the club president, De Laurentiis, because obviously he has to know for this to be on the club website. He has to know about this. So it might be a strategy for them, but I don't think it's a good strategy. I do understand nobody wants their staff to abandon their jobs and go work somewhere else, and then it affects the whole team, it affects the season. But I think things could have been done a better way. I mean, all you have to do was just wait till January and put him on the transfer market. Probably don't overinflate his price. Sell him at a fair price. Maybe when Arsenal comes in for him, instead of charging us 170 million, you give him for 90 million or something like that. You can easily sell him instead of doing all these things and just creating unnecessary animosity and bringing a dark cloud over the club. It's not like Napoli have started the season in great form like that. So for you to now bring something more like this, it's going to affect the morale of the squad, going to affect the player. And yeah, so let's hope that everything gets resolved and things will go back the way they were. As things stand now, they are going back to the way they were. Osihmen was on the score sheet. Napoli won 4-0 over the weekend. So that's good. Let's hope that they can kick on this season and perform. And yeah, finally, Jude Bellingham. Can we talk the trending man of the moment, the trending guy of the season? I mean, I don't think anybody has been as impactful for the team this season as Jude Bellingham has since he moved to Madrid. This is the 6th goal now of the season, and the guy just keeps on scoring, which begs the question. I want to ask the question to you guys who are watching. Out of this new generation and this new crop of midfielders that are coming up right now, with the likes of Pedri, Musiala, Foden, Odegaard, Xavi Simons, and the likes, and Jude Bellingham, who is the best and who do you think is going to have the most successful career? Please drop your comments, drop your answers in the comment section. And with that being said, thanks guys for tuning in. I appreciate you guys for watching our videos. Please guys, do not forget to like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow, and also click the notification button so that you will be notified whenever we make a video. Thank you guys, and see you guys in the next video.